Sorry, I'm just giggling because Iba seems to be getting a tiny bit frustrated over this vetoing process. Like, we veto 4 maps, you don't get 3 vetoes. You think he will play toss? I mean, he's allowed to if he wants. I'm not gonna force him. There are some moments where I will say like, hey, we need your main race now. That goes for Reynor as well. Whenever I get Reynor in the Big Brain Bouts, Reynor's always eager to give me some Terror or Protoss. It's like, no. If I haven't seen your Zerg in 2 months, mate, I want to see your Zerg. It's that simple. Iba can do whatever he thinks he's got the best shot with. If he genuinely believes from the bottom of his heart that he's got a better shot with Protoss than with Zerg, he's allowed to play Protoss. It's up to him. I will not force him. I'm not gonna nerf him. He's the underdog in this series with Protoss or Zerg, so he can play whatever he wants. I'm gonna kick things off on Tokamak. This map, I think, guys, right now it's a map that maybe still feels somewhat new. I think in 4 months from now, every time we'll close our eyes at night, we're gonna see Tokamak. It seems like all the pro gamers love this map. We already saw that last Monday. I think we'll probably see this map be played over at the Esports World Cup as well. This is going to be a very popular one. 3-0 YoungYakov. That seems to be the popular prediction. A lot of you guys vetoing or voting for YoungYakov. Saw it in the Discord as well. I am always an Iba believer. I really believe that Iba is incredibly talented. But so is YoungYakov. YoungYakov is excellent. And I do agree YoungYakov is the favorite. I don't think it's going to be a trio. Iba is not the underdog because he's bad or people think he's weak. I think everybody rates Iba and everyone is impressed with how good Iba is at such a young age. It's just that YoungYakov is one of the best 5 Zerg players in Europe. And some people think he's even higher on that list. Some even think he's the 3rd best Zerg in Europe. That goes a little bit far for me. I feel like you always have to rate Lambo. Look, you guys see this? Ready. Good luck, have fun. I think you always have to rate Lambo, and even if Elaser is only playing Age of Empires right now, Elaser has such an impressive resume, has such an impressive career, a couple of great runs at BlizzCons. Like, I will always rate Elaser as well. Until I see someone like YoungYakov outperform Elaser at 3 big international events in a row, I will not necessarily put him above Elaser. Same goes for Lambo. But I think Lambo overall right now is better. I think Yakov against Elaser at this point would be very, very close. Because Elaser doesn't seem to be very active. He's so active in Age of Empires. So I think Lambo is still above. Elaser is very close right now. Here we go. Co-main event of the evening. Big Brain Bouts number 94 already. 1 best of 5 to go. After that, it is time for Classic versus Serral. A Friday night with Serral always feels a little special, eh? Here we go.
Let's get it on.
Round 1. Fight.
Top right side of Tokamak, the new most popular pick among the pro and semi-pro gamers out there. We are looking at the main base of the Russian Zerg, YoungYakov. Should also make it, guys, to Stara Zagora this summer, which I'm incredibly excited over. I feel like I haven't been to a lot of events where Yakov was at. Maybe I've never even ever met him in real life. It's been a little while, but either I've only met him once or I've never met him. So I'm excited to see him make it over to Bulgaria. On the bottom left side, we are looking at the main base of our 16-year-old UK Zerg. The best 16-year-old on the planet. I think we can safely say that. This is Platinum Heroes Iba. Serral classic win. Most people are going with Serral, mate. People will pretty much always go for Serral. Thank you to Nil Energy for the 29 months with Prime. Since some of you guys are talking about the Warcraft 3 invitation of Grobby, and of course I understand that, I saw that the Viper beat Sing Sing. I'm actually kind of surprised, guys, because I obviously I know that the Viper is an absolute Age of Empires 2 legend, the GOAT or the second GOAT or the undisputed GOAT, and he was really good in Age of Empires 4, and he's a good Starcraft 2 player as well, but I still kind of thought that Warcraft 3 was a little bit more up the alley of Sing Sing, and I kind of thought that Sing Sing was just going to win that tournament. I do still think that they're probably the 2 best players, and there is a chance that they'll play again much later on, but impressive by Viper. ZVZ's been months? Nah, we get a couple ZVZs made on the Friday night. On the Monday night, I agree. We very, very, very rarely get a ZVZ. But on the Friday night, I've been giving you guys a lot of Zerg action lately. You can't say there hasn't been enough Zerg action in the Big Brain Bouts. If anything, the Terrans have something to complain about and be like, Roddy, F off with all these Zergs and Protosters. Give us some Terran action. Then again, we had Bjorn last week playing a amazing series against Reynor. I hope you guys appreciated my YouTube casting effort, by the way. Felt so awkward to re-record the game on a Saturday morning, but I figured it'd be the best thing I could do for the ZVZ. Viper is undisputed in Age of Empires 2. Yeah, I think these days Hera is better, right? So, or at least slightly more successful. But obviously throughout the entire career it is Viper. Who would win an RTS All-Stars event? I dreamed of that in the past, mate. Like, you know how they have QuakeCon? Imagine if you have the ultimate RTS con, where you just have a competition among X amount of games and then see who would perform the best. I think it truly comes down to which games you select, right? Because some people just have strong history in certain games. My money would probably be on Lucifron or Vortex. I think that they would cook, because they were absolute world class. Starcraft 2, Warcraft 3 and Age of Empires players. And a lot of other people can only say they've been good at best 2 games. So I think the Moreno brothers would probably win. But it really depends what games you select. If you don't select one of their 3 main games, yeah, the DeMusliM is a big favorite, but not as big as the Moreno brothers. Yeah, Vortex is also the goat in Stormgate, yeah. I saw that somebody had a Stormgate archives channel and he was going to take it offline. And somebody described it as the end of an era, and I thought that was kind of a bit funny. I think we're getting a little bit too dramatic here, guys. The end of an era over the Stormgate Archives channel. No, Ben is a candidate. I agree. I love Ben, guys. He's just one of my best friends. I just didn't want to be too biased, and as good as Ben was, I don't think you can really compare Ben his either StarCraft 2 career or his Warcraft 3 career to Lucifron or Vortex. I think in Age of Empires they're very close to each other in skill right now. In the other games, and then also taking Stormgate into consideration, the Morenos are better. If you mean me, no. I'm obviously okay in some RTS games, but I've never really been the best in any of them, right? Something that the other guys can say. There was a small period in Warcraft 3 where I was, I'd say, very good, if I don't want to brag, but there was a brief period where I was incredibly good in certain matchups. Honestly, I would say in 3 out of 4 matchups, actually. Anyway, we've got a Yakov with 60 drones, a couple of roaches poking to the other side of the map, but I think Iba should be fine here, right? Iba shouldn't overreact. They're very similar in drone count. Spire goes down on the side of Yakov. When I made this match, I can tell you right now, guys, that Iba was not mega confident. He'd be like, ugh. I mean, I can try it for you, Roddy, but YoungYakov is very good. I was like, I know. I just think you're very good too, mate. Give me your best. And once again, if I ever propose a match to the guys, especially if it's later into the evening, if it's early, it's not that important, but if it's the second last match or the last match, and we're not talking about a Clem or a Serral, if somebody is very happy with the match, then I've already done something wrong. You know, I want it to be tough for Iba. I love Iba, but it needs to be tough. Oh no, something. I would love to agree with you, mate, but that's not true. The last time that Ben played a lot of StarCraft 2, I think he got like 5.5, 5.6 MMR, but he was struggling. He was kind of still going down. Vortex, the last time he played, he got up to like 6,300. It would not be close. And I say this as the man who was the best man on Demu's wedding. I love Ben, and he was an excellent Terran player for a while, but it would not be close. Vortex is an exceptional RTS talent. Demu is really good in a lot of things, like really, really, really good. He can be so proud of everything, but Vortex is not just really good, he's exceptional. And the same goes for his brother. Yeah, there's like a solid at least 500 MMR difference between them right now. And that's not to say that I don't think that Demu cannot get better again, and he cannot get like, hey, maybe he can get close to 6k What if he just plays StarCraft non-stop for like 5 months? Yeah, maybe. But Vortex got 6.3k without breaking a sweat. Like, that's ridiculous. Thank you, Ella Steve, mate, for the 5 months. I appreciate it. The Spire is done on the side of YoungYakov. Well. Now, Iba's got a Hydra then. He can build a couple Hydras. This is a large map, though. It's going to be hard to get to the other side of the map with the right amount of Hydras. Yakov doing a really good job. Obviously, still showing a lot of activity with the roaches, too. What can the Mutas do? They'll poke. They'll be annoying, but... honestly, it's a little bit more right now about the war on the ground than these Mutas. It is Kirmi Saga. I've said it for a long time, but I truly think that Netflix should make a documentary once about Lucifron and Vortex. Because their careers as pro gamers are as insane as it gets. Like, it's just... it should not be possible to excel at that many video games. You know, that you're very good at one thing is impressive. If you're very good at two things, it's like, wow, that's cool. He was also good in this. They've been literally like the best or absolute world class in 5 different games. Like, you can't make this stuff up, man. It's insane. Legitimately insane. A lot of Banelings rolling forward on the side of YoungYakov, and if Banelings connect with the Hydras will melt. Yakov has money in the bank, but despite the fact that he's got that money in the bank, he is full sending it. And Iba has made some late game investments, like that Lurk at the end, the double Evo, and it's just not really paying off. I mean, then again, Yakov had double Evo as well. Yakov is kind of steamrolling Iba here, guys. Just like that, 9 minutes. An impressive display here by Yakov. Made the Spire, just a few Mutas. But what you accomplish with the few Mutas is that you force out Spore Crawlers. You force out a very defensive setup of your opponent. You force out Hydras. And then you just hit him with the 1-2 punch of a lot of Roaches, Ravages, Banelings rolling in. Very strong by Yakov here in game 1. Few more years, Winged, but it's possible. Alex is showing some promise. Well, we need to find the first game where Alex is not just good, but he's gonna be world class. I want to see the first game where we can just sit in the audience on a chair and clap for our man while he's on the big stage. That's what I'm waiting for right now. Yuki had a walk is in FP2. Yeah, they're practicing already on Jedi, mate. My week has gone by so quick, and there are so many things that I've been doing that I completely forgot it was Friday and there is F1 happening. Like, I know it's just practice, but I suddenly saw a screenshot of like Gasly being first in FP1. I was like, wait, what? It's an F1 weekend, that's right. And it's already almost weekend. Things go so quick. Alright, guys, here we go. Round 2. It is still... oh, it's not ZVZ, it's ZVP. You guys want it, you guys get it. Here we go.
Round 2. Fight!
Top left side, they're taking the 1-0 lead. It is the Russian Zerg, by some considered to be the 3rd best Zerg in Europe after Serral and Reynor. Most people will put him at number 5, some put him at 4. And some haters would put him at 6 or 7, but I think 5 is probably still the perfect number for him. This is YoungYakov. And in the bottom left side, I'd say the most talented teenager on the planet at this point in Starcraft 2. A world-class Zerg player, but also an excellent Protoss. And he even seems to enjoy Protoss a little bit more, and that is what he has gone for here in Game 2. It is Platinum Heroes Iba. Do I think Max will drop Red Bull? I don't think it's gonna happen too soon. I think it's a lot of noise. I don't think that's gonna happen. Not in the middle of the season either. Maybe at the end of the season. But the real thing is though, like, where could he go? Even if you think of Max going to a different team, only a few teams are an option. I think Mercedes is set. Like, they're not dropping Russell. They like him too much. And they love Kimi Antonelli, and rightfully so. I love Kimi too. I think Kimi's awesome. Ferrari is not dropping Leclerc, is not dropping Lewis. Like, that is just a PR nightmare. If you drop Lewis for Max, like, don't even want to think about it. Aston Martin is an option, but then Lawrence Stroll needs to either drop Alonso, which I don't think Max would ever like, because they're really good friends, or he needs to drop his own son. Questionable. Yeah, that's kind of it, right? Not pro derby monsters, but there are a few gamers out there that can play all 3 races at a high level. Scarlett always gets mentioned, and rightfully so. Scarlett, I think, is still incredibly good with all 3 races. Reynor is probably the best random player on the planet right now. I think Maru probably has pretty good off-race. Thermo is a good random player, but not really full-time. Clem has obviously amazing Protoss. Honestly, it's Clem or Reynor, right? Let's be honest. Starcraft 2 in this day and age, our best gamers are so freaking good that when it comes to like who is the best in a random versus random tournament, there will always be some luck involved. But let's say everybody gets equal amounts of luck, it's Reynor or Clem. It's that simple. Serral beat Reynor once in a TVT and also won a local tournament in Finland by playing Protoss, I believe. But Serral does not put that much effort into his Terran skills or his Protoss skills. I'm sure he enjoys it a little bit, but it's kind of like how Harston plays a little bit of off-race and MaxPax plays some off-race, but they're not as serious or dedicated as Clem has been for a while or Reynor has been. I don't know if it's very good Legoland. Like, I saw Maru beat, I think it was Percival once with Protoss, and then people were like, oh my god, Maru's Protoss is insane. It's like, oh, come on. This is not quite that insane. Like, it was fine, but it really wasn't that good. It's like, yeah, one of the greatest StarCraft 2 players of all time, and everybody would agree that Maru is one of the absolute greatest. Has good enough Protoss to beat Percival. It's like, okay. Like, yeah, that doesn't truly surprise me. Also, I've never seen the Zerg. The Protoss is okay, but you know, being good in Protoss against Terran or even PvP is one thing. You cannot look at 2 or 3 games and be like, wow, this is as good as that other thing that has literally worked in tournaments, right? Like Clem is playing Protoss in tournaments and he's doing amazing. Reynor played offline Protoss versus Solar and won multiple best of 3s. Reynor played Protoss against Serral and won a map. Like, that is not on the same level as beating Percival or winning a game against Zaun. Come on, guys. I mean, if you guys think that's on the same level, so be it. But to me, that's not even in the same realm. Iba is, I want to say, in a tiny bit of danger here, but obviously we still have the oracles. We could really use energy recharge. You don't want to lose the Nexus here, mate. Losing the Nexus would be an absolute disaster. Do we have an energy recharge available? We have it now. Please use it, Iba. Please tell me you have energy recharge. He needs the DPS. Iba! Iba's losing the Nexus. That is really bad. Oh. This is probably something in Iba's mind that is silly and stupid, and this should never work. Because what if I just had X, Y, or Z? You made a lot of Zerglings and you didn't get my Nexus and you're so dead. But Yakov says, don't care. Made a lot of Zerglings, got the Nexus. That's all that matters, and he's right. Hello, Yona. I know, mate. It was Rat who said, but still impressive, Yona. I tried to get you on purity and industry, and that didn't work. Uh-oh, 6 minutes in. Iba obviously incredibly frustrated about the fact that he lost that Nexus there. Ah! And now Iba loses an Oracle too. I know Iba's Protoss is good, guys, but it's different when you're playing against somebody that's at least as good, if not a little bit better than you, and you're playing off-race and you're playing a best of 5 where there is money on the line. If Iba wins, if Yakov wins this, he wins $100, right? He gets $100 for winning this best of 5. It's not the same as like having a chill little game on the ladder where he's just gonna sit back. Like, no, he's gonna put some thought into it, and he's gonna cook something up that he feels might make you uncomfortable as off-race player. I think against Zerg fanboys, absolutely. Against Terran or Protoss, against Terran I'd say no, and against Protoss I think it'd be very close. I think PvP would be very close. Against Terran it would not be better. Against Zerg I do think it's better. You guess Yakov might PvP next game? No. I don't think Yakov cares at all, mate. If Iba wants to play half Zerg, half Protoss, he's like, alright, mate, more power to you. I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you. Yakov does not care what his opponents does. And I've said this many times, when it comes to the Big Brain Bouts, of course we hope for fun and close series, and we hope it's a bit of a show. But I also want these guys to just play to win. And Yakov is not necessarily here to entertain us. Yakov is here to win. That's his job. He is a pro gamer, a semi-pro gamer. He's one of the best Zergs in Europe. He doesn't need to do funny stuff. He doesn't need to off-race. If he just wants to A-move and crush Iba on the other side of the map, he's allowed to do so. And after 8 minutes, it's a 2-0 lead for YoungYakov. And if I was Iba, I'd just go back to Zerg. You think Mirror is the hardest to off-race? I think the hardest in general to off-race is the one matchup that has nothing to do with your race. So, I mean, it depends a little bit as well, right? Like, what race are you off-racing as? What kind of skills are required? But I think, like, for Maru, if Maru plays Protoss, his PvZ is just going to be his weakest. Because you guys know how pro gamers are. Historically, they don't care much if their race is not involved. You guys have heard Serral say this very often, that he's, like, doesn't care much about PvT. He would only watch it if it's, like, a truly important series or if it's very good. And Maru, as a Terran player throughout his entire history, Maru is not going to sit there and be like, man, I want to get to the bottom of this PvZ and pay attention to all the little details. Like, no. If a Terran is involved, he'll pay attention. If it's PvZ, they'll watch. But more often than not, they'll kind of tune out. Iba is sticking with Protoss by the looks of it as we are loading into ley lines. I know how pro gamers think, and Iba probably thinks like, okay, I lost that game because I lost my third base. But I only lost my third base because you made way too many Zerglings. And that's not real. That's not a good idea. You shouldn't have done that. And if I can just have a better answer for that, I think I can turn it around. Well, same would be true of PvP then, right? A little bit TBD forever, but not necessarily, because then you're working with the exact same units as the units that you're used to building, at least in one of the other matchups. So you have a better feel for how the interactions go. Also, like, mirrors can be very deep, but mirrors can also be very simple, where it's like, get expand, build one unit, and go. You know, throughout history, that has definitely been the case sometimes.
Round 3.
Fight!
Here we go. Ley lines, a 2-0 lead for this man who is just once more showing us that he is one of the best Zerg players in Europe. And perhaps there's even a chance, guys, that this man can qualify for the Esports World Cup. Top 18 in the world. Tough, but perhaps not impossible for YoungYakov. It'd be surprising, but it wouldn't be the craziest thing ever to me. If I think of like Coffee making it last year, and I know you guys will say, oh, regional qualifiers, but it's possible. Top right side, I think it comes a little bit early in his career, but he definitely has a very promising career ahead of him if he keeps on playing and he keeps on improving at the current pace. It's Platinum Hero Iba. I am sometimes afraid, though, guys, that all this off-racing is just kind of going to slow the kids down a little bit in their trajectory of becoming better and reaching the next level. And if you say like, yeah, but oh, YoungYakov, what is that? Big misclick, mental victory for Iba. Iba's in his head. He's in his head. But yeah, obviously, guys, not everyone has to play Starcraft every day with the idea of, oh, I want to spend my time wisely and become the next world champion. The only thing I do is it's only about getting better. Like that. If Iba just wants to have fun playing Starcraft and he enjoys playing Protoss, more power to him, right? Playing video games is supposed to be fun. It has to be fun. But I do think there is an argument for like, hey, you're so talented. You're so freaking good. Like, you could potentially accomplish some real big things in your gaming career. That maybe sticking to one race for a little while longer is better. Oh, Mango Mush. Mango Mush is back to wine. Let's go, mate. Mango Mush, you didn't forget I met you, right? I don't know why you're always trying to do this when you already know that I agree over certain things. I don't think that Iba obviously believes that Protoss is very good. Like a lot of people believe Protoss is very good. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Iba as his overall progression as a player. And if he wants to full-time switch to Protoss, that's fine. But I still think then you go all-out Protoss. You go 24/7 Protoss. And you say like, well, Zerg is the race that I picked, that I grew up with, that I became GM with, and that I took the scene with by storm. But now I'm just gonna fully focus on Protoss. Kind of like how Neep switched to Protoss. Because Neep obviously was originally a Terran player, and he was good, but he wasn't the very best. When Protoss became the very best. Yeah, excellent choice. But Neep did not go back and forth between Terran, Protoss, Terran, Protoss, Terran, Protoss, Terran, Protoss, right? If Iba announces tomorrow, it's like, hey, I'm literally only playing Protoss all day, every day. Yeah, that's fine. I don't think that would be a bad choice. If anything, that'd probably be a very good choice. But that's what I meant. You think everyone should switch? Also, if the entire scene would switch to Protoss, MaxPax could potentially become the world champ. If Max only ever has to play PvP and we can just convince him to go to an offline event, I think Max might actually become the GOAT in like 2 years. 98% win record in offline PvPs. Yeah, maybe the entire scene should become Protoss. It's been a little... iffy is a big word. It's just that people were so used to MaxPax winning every single game forever that now whenever he loses, it's like, oh, he's so weak right now. But this patch is probably a lot worse for Max's PvP than previous patches. The styles have just single-handedly kind of nerfed his style. And cross-server is just very hard for MaxPax to be MaxPax. Like, if your entire game comes down to microing a void ray to perfection for 10 seconds straight, and you're doing it with 125 MS, I think it's very hard to be perfect. Adept gets surrounded and picked off. Yakov again made a lot of Zerglings. Oracles have a lot of energy though. We used Insta energy recharge this time. Yeah, exactly. MaxPax's PvP I think is still very good. One thing that I do really want to give a lot of kudos for is ShoWTime's ability of beating MaxPax in like the Phoenix against Phoenix stuff. Because that is no longer like, oh, he got lucky or X, Y, Z. Like, no. ShoWTime just seems to be at least as good as MaxPax in this, like, I expand, you expand, Phoenix, 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 Mothership Carrier. Like, ShoWTime is at MaxPax's level. And those are definitely no guaranteed wins for Max. Hero's also getting some Phoenix victories over Max, but if I deeply analyze those games, a lot of it is legitimately decided by ping. And I think with lower ping, those games would look different. Iba obviously overall having a much better setup here. Game 3 of Leylines, our UK Zerg, who has played Protoss in Game 2 and has picked Protoss here in Game 3. This looks better. Not losing a whole lot, needs to be careful. We really don't want to lose an Oracle. We do lose an Oracle. Great save obviously by Yakov. Cast the curse, right? This looks better, just kidding. It doesn't. Hero is honestly, the way he plays Phoenix against Phoenix in PvP is just crazy. It's not as solid as the way that Max and ShoWTime do it. It's a mixture between mind games, but it's also just YOLO steadfast. Obviously YOLO stuff can work, especially if the ping is a little bit higher with units like Phoenix that just automatically attack. If you jump on somebody, it can be over immediately, but that might not necessarily work if the ping would be 100 lower. He also plays it right sometimes, don't get me wrong. It's not that he always plays it in, I would say, inferior ways, but more often than not, Hero throws his own twist at it. I think you can. It's something I can participate, or do I have to be there to play? Yeah, you have to be there to play. The DreamHack Dallas is not online, mate. It's offline. I think you have to be in Dallas to play. You have to buy a ticket. Yeah, ticket, sorry. And then you have to register. Yakov is gonna hit Iba with some good old-fashioned Hydra Ling Bang. You look at storm timing, 40% done, and Iba with his Protoss, with his off race. Like, it's just not there yet, guys. I'm sorry, but it's just, it's good. It's really good, and Iba can beat so many Zergs in the European scene. But look at this. This is a Zerg massacre. As the Bailings are already all over the third base, while Stalkers are AFK in the center of the map. Iba missed the move out. +1 melee, Hydra Link Bane, hits like a Volvo truck. We've been talking about Volvos. And it's starting to look like it is indeed back-to-back trios. Yakov simply too good. Yakov is a tough one, man, to matchmake for. I really feel like you either give him the very, very best. I don't know. Who should we give Yakov next, guys? Give me some inspiration. Because I like supporting Yakov. I like seeing his games, but he is one hell of a player. Another 100 buckies goal straight to young Yakov. Spirit, it might be tough, but maybe. It's a big step up, but maybe. Iba will still get 25 bucks for playing, and obviously a lot to think about. Am I a Zerg? Am I a Protoss? Am I both? I mean, in the end, it's all up to Iba. As long as Iba has fun. But I do think there are maybe more solid ways. If Euthermal wants it, I think that'd be an amazing match. I mean, Euthermal did beat Cham not too long ago. But I think Yakov is better than Cham. Yeah, Euthermal's victory over Cham was really good. I feel like I already did Hearthstone against Yakov once in the BBB. And I think Hearthstone won. But that's such a long time ago that I don't mind running it back. If you guys... Christiana is a good match, actually. I like that. Yeah, I really like that. I really, really like that. Christiana next. Honestly, that could even be main event, right? I feel like I did it in the Big Brain Bouts once, yeah. Hearthstone 3-1 Yakov. But obviously that's number 38. It's like 2 years ago at this point. So I don't think it's a bad idea to run this one back. Because I think Yakov has made some really good steps up in the competition. Scarlett be also really fun, yeah. That's a good one. Also main event though. Scarlett is a guaranteed main event. Alright guys, guaranteed main event. We had back-to-back trios, and that means that we can now get ready for our main event of the evening. Serral playing once more on the Friday night, this time versus Classic. Yakov was the favorite, and Yakov delivered, showing us why. He is one of the best Zergs in Europe. Serral versus Classic, best of 5, a main event. BBB number 94. Serral, of course, our finish is Z, the finisher. Classic, our Korean P. I'll give you guys 15 minutes to get your predictions in. Always nice to see some Serral on the Friday night. Give it a couple minutes. After that, I'll be back. Serral Classic coming up.